Here you go. Look, worrying isn't going to do you any good, Mum.
What else can I do?
He'll look after her.
Ricky can hardly look after himself. Look at the holes in these socks.
All right, so he can't use a needle and cotton. What does that prove?
I've always tried to do my best. Maybe my best wasn't good enough.
You've got nothing to blame yourself for.
Janine wasn't much more than a baby when she came to us, you know. Tantrums she used to throw, but Frank had to have his little madam here at home with us.
He wouldn't have seen the old Patwicks for dust.
I keep telling you, I'm not the way I was. She ran away from home once before.
What kid doesn't?
Must have been about 4 or 5 years ago now. I followed her, got a twisted ankle from my pains. That was a turning point. I'm not saying we became friends, but it was like she called a truce. We've had our ups and downs since then. I love that kid like she was my own if any harm should come to her.
Crying out loud, Mum, will you give it a rest? Wow, anyone would think the way you were going on, the kid was dead.
Quick, E, Lloyd, come on, come on. It's not a lot to go on.
What did I tell you?
You mean you're not going to do anything?
All the girl says is she's gone to fetch her father. It's not very specific.
But I've told you they've gone to Essex. Frank was seen in that pub near Chelmsford 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks.
He could be anywhere by now.
I know that, but it's where they've gone, I'm sure of it.
Well, assuming you're right.
I am right.
Oh, this is a complete farce. I told her you wouldn't take it seriously.
Oh, we take it seriously, sir.
You will try and find her for me, won't you, please?
She's with her older brother, you say? Who's how old?
21.
Then I'm sure you're worrying about nothing.
That's what I keep telling her.
You can tell me that till I'm blue in the face, but I can't help thinking about what could happen. I read the papers like everybody else.
Would you say her brother is a responsible young man? Well?
He can be responsible when he wants to be.
Which isn't very often.
Are you telling me you're concerned about him in some way?
Do you mean would he harm her? No, he loves her. He's a big brother. He's always looked out for her.
Plus, he ain't got the imagination to harm a fly.
He's a good boy, is Ricky.
Personally, I feel sure she'll turn up of her own accord. But in the meantime, we'll circulate her description and hope that something turns up.
Would you like a picture of her?
Yes, please.
I've got one here somewhere. She had one taken a couple of weeks ago. You know, those ones they bring back from school. She wouldn't rest until I bought everyone on the sheet. I couldn't afford it, but she went on and on at me until I had to give her for the sake of peace. I can't find it. What have I done with it? I can't find it. I'm sorry.
Mrs. Butcher, the photo will turn up.
You will find her for me, won't you? Please, you will find her. Hello? Hello? You all right?
Get up, Ricky. Get up.
Leave me alone.
You look as if you're about to throw up.
I nearly killed us, Janine.
Well, you didn't. We're all right.
I keep thinking what might have happened.
We've got to get back to London. Please, Ricky, stand up. That's better. You all right? Come on!
Like I said, we'll contact the Essex police so that they know about the situation. And we'll commit the descriptions of Janine and,
Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky, to the central computer. And the best thing you can do is to try not to worry.
Well, that's easier said than done.
I know. I've got kids myself.
What, daughters?
2 boys.
You don't worry so much with boys. Maybe you should. I never did.
Try to keep yourself busy. We'll be in touch if we hear anything.
Thank you.
You don't worry so much with boys. Too right. You never did. Me and Simon could have gone missing for weeks and you wouldn't have even noticed.
Not now, please, David.
Truth hurts, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, but right now I've got other things on my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. 2 kids who aren't even yours.
You're jealous, aren't you?
Well, it's obvious you care more about them than you ever cared about us.
I bet this suits you down to the ground with Frank out the way and now these 2 gone. You reckon you've got a clear field here? Did you give them the idea of going off to find Frank?
Shut up,
I
you're
was
mad.
happy here with Frank and the kids.
Happy? Mum, how could you be happy? You were skint all the time.
We had a few problems with money, but nothing we couldn't handle. But as soon as you showed your face round here, things have gone from bad to worse.
Cheers. Here, Grant.
Yeah?
You sure changed me, mate.
What?
Well, the beer was 140. You gave me 360 change.
Yeah.
Well, I gave you a tenner, which means by my reckoning you owe me a fiver.
You sure you gave me a tenner?
Would I lie?
You tell me.
It's not worth me while, is it? We're only talking about a fiver, mate.
What is it about that bloke that makes you want to put a fist through his face?
Can't.
Only joking. Just can't bear a smart ass trying to get one over on me, that's all. There you go.
What's all that?
Oh, there's no fibres in the till, and would you believe it? No £1 coins either, mate.
I hope you don't mind me asking, David.
Ask away, beautiful.
Is there some news on Frank?
Pigs might fly.
Well, I heard you had the old bill around your place earlier.
It's not my place, is it? It's my mum's place.
Was everything all right?
Is anything ever all right over there?
There you go. Cheers.
Thank you.
I think Simon was mad to let you go. My kid brother never did know what he was well off.
It was a very long time ago.
He was mad.
You stop in for another?
Yeah, I might be persuaded. By a pretty face. Same again, Sharon, please.
Sure.
Is that Constable Smith? It's Mrs. Butcher here, love. You came round to my house earlier on about my daughter, Janine, my stepdaughter. I was wondering if you had any news of her. Oh, I see. I'm sorry to have bothered you. Yeah, I'm sure you're right. She'll be back by tea time.
Home straight away.
What else?
We could go and have a look around Soho, seeing as we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Look, Mum, I've been looking for somewhere else to live.
There's no need for that.
Well, you made it clear you don't want me here no more.
I was upset, David.
Is that an apology?
You take it how you like. Been down the pub, have you?
Well, you weren't the only one who was upset. What you making?
A stew. Seeing as everybody seems to think they'll be back by tea time. Might as well be something for them to eat. I don't know what Ricky's thinking of.
Thinking? I'm not sure he knows how to do that.
I don't ask much of him, but I do ask a bit of common sense. It's all right for him to go running off around the countryside on a wild goose chase, but to take a 10-year-old girl with him, that is irresponsible.
Well, like father, like son.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, Frank going off like that, and now Ricky going off...
Those weeks before he left, he didn't know what he was doing. You saw what he was like.
I saw what he wanted me to see, Mum.
You saying he was pretending all the time?
But he was a worried man, I know.
He was sick.
Maybe.
And he still is. Otherwise he'd be here, at home with us. He loves us. He's having some sort of breakdown. He wouldn't deliberately get us into this mess and then just walk out.
I'm sorry, Mum. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. Oh, come on, don't cry.
I'm not crying, it's the onions. Sometimes I hate him. How can he do this to me?
Look, I'll tell you what. Nip upstairs, eh? Put a bit of stuff on your face and I'll take you out for a bit. You could do again out of the house.
I used to be somebody round here, you know. Now look at me. And all because Frank didn't have the sense to see when he was well off. Speculate to accumulate, that's what he'd say. Now I've got nothing.
Well, you've got the house.
Oh, yeah.
What's funny about that?
I'm killing myself to keep this leaking roof over our heads so that Frank's kids can have an home. Now they've done a runner. It's all to stop me going down the building society, dumping the keys on the desk and walking off into the blue yonder like everybody else.
What's his name?
Hello. That's you.
Janine!
Is there some news on Frank?
Frank?
Well, I heard you had the police round.
Oh, I suppose it's all around Albert Square, is it? Bushes have had the old Bill knocking on the door again.
I don't think so, Pat, no.
No, it wasn't about Frank. About Ricky and Janine. They've legged it and all.
What?
They've gone to find Frank. What is it about me, Sharon, that makes everybody want to get as far away as possible?
You know that's not true.
What, with my track record? Am I such a terrible woman? Am I?
Look, you sit down, Pat. I'll put the kettle on.
I don't want another cup of tea. I've got all this
Right,
to
come
do.
on, sit down. Come on. Here you go.
Frank was the first boy I ever really loved. Did you know that? When we got together again, it was like a dream coming true. Now it's like a nightmare.
You've had it rough lately.
Just when I thought it was as rough as it could get, those two run away.
They'll be back.
I'm not sure I want them back. Everybody who comes near me, one way or another, gets their lives messed up. I think they should stay away.
They need you, Janine especially.
She doesn't seem to think so.
Well, she might not show it, Pat, but she knows it. That poor kid's been shunted around since the day she was born. You're the only stability she's ever known. You're her mum.
Yes, I suppose so.
You've got to pull yourself together, Pat, for her sake. When she walks through that door, you've got to open your arms and hug her.
Oh, I feel more like belting her.
But you won't, because what that kid really needs is love.
I could do with a bit of that myself.
I know.
Sometimes, Sharon, I feel so lonely. Thanks for coming to see me, love.
Well, you've been good to me in your time, Pat. And you're good to me, Mum, when she needed a mate. What goes round comes round, eh?
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm afraid of.
How do you mean?
All those years ago, I was such a bad mother to my boys. I can't help thinking that what I'm getting now is my just deserts.
I lost you. Where did you get to?
Never mind me, where have you been?
I just bought a cake, that's all.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I was just about to get the bus home. Are you coming?
Come on. You sure you're all right, yeah?
Stealing a car, he wants his head examined.
It was virtually a write-off. From what I can tell, they were lucky to get out.
But they are all right, though.
The car was empty. And earlier this afternoon, 2 young people answering their description were reported hitching a ride back to London.
That's a relief. Hang on, how do you know this car's got anything to do with them?
We found a video membership card on the driver's seat.
With Ricky's name on it.
We think it must have fallen out of his pocket.
All right, Janine, listen, right? If Pat asks, you just bunked off school for today and we went to see a film, all right?
All right. What film?
I don't know, any film. All right, I'm going upstairs for a sleep.
Pat.
Come here, love.
Mr. Butcher. Mr. Richard Butcher.
Yeah.
Richard Butcher. I'm arresting you on suspicion of the theft of a car. You don't have to say anything, but anything you do say may be written down and used in evidence.